Bravery in movies or TV is a quality and a character that shows up almost instantly when called upon and facing a great threat. But how do we live brave lives? How do we become more brave? Let's get into it. Hello everyone, Wallace Russell from CoachWallaceRussell.com. The definition of bravery is the quality or state of having or showing mental or moral strength in the face of danger, fear, or difficulty. Fear is one of the biggest motivators on the planet, and dealing with it can be one of the most effective things you can do to change your life. Common kinds of fear include fear of failure, fear of success, fear of the unknown, fear of change, fear of heights. I'm going to liken this, as I explain this, I'm going to liken this to two stories, slaying a dragon or starting a successful business. Both are grand journeys one can embark upon, but fear plays a large part in that process and along that path. So, how to become more brave. First of all, this video is not about conquering your fear at all. It's about how to do battle with it more successfully. I cannot, certainly not in this video, help you free yourself from your fear, but perhaps I can give you steps to move forward while it is happening to and around you. It'll take many battles to conquer your fear. You will not slay the dragon in the first try, or the third try, or the fifth try. But you can go along the path to ultimately slay that dragon. The first thing you need to do is identify your fear. Now, that may seem trivial. For some of you, it seems obvious, perhaps, because you might already know what you think it is. But consider this. What looks like fear of failure, for example, may be more of a self-esteem issue. So your energy may be better spent on embracing or dealing with your self-esteem than actually conquering the fear. Because once you have strengthened yourself, that fear loses some of its power against you. Step 2, break down and study your fear. Study and learn. Learn it well enough to teach a class. It's not just some dark, untouchable, nebulous blast. It has a core, a place where it's vulnerable, and a place where you can punch it. And yes, you can do battle against your fear. Writing down is key. I'm going to tell you now, if you are resistant to writing these things down, keeping some kind of journal or some kind of record for how you deal with the process, then that is where you need to put your energy to first. There's something that may be stopping you from writing it down. If that is the case, then let's conquer that first. But keep a journal. Keep some kind of written notice of what you're going through and how you're dealing with this. And then you have to break it down into smaller pieces. What about it really bothers you? What do you think you might lose? When does it get you? What's happening when fear or some other thing that's stopping you? What's happening in your life when you react that way? What are the symptoms you experience? Do you freeze? Do you run? Do you get angry, annoyed? Do you just not deal with it? Do you ignore it? You need to understand what is happening when you are facing your demons or something that's stopping you. You need to know what it feels like, what's starting it, everything, well enough to explain it to someone who is not experiencing it. The next step is you need to manifest your tools of battle. So manifesting is huge for me. There's a lot of things in your head, but if it doesn't come out onto the page, into the real world, it only exists there. And your mind is a terrible place to do battle or to use tools without being prepared or without having something in the real world to anchor yourself. So you must manifest tools of battle. What does that look like? Well, if you are going to fight a dragon, you probably are going to need a sword or a magic wand or something. So you're going to have to make one, build one, or have someone else do it for you. But it must exist in the real world. It has to be something you can touch. And the first one you make may be terrible, but you have it. And from there, you can build it better, or build a better one. And you can also learn better how to wield it, how to use it. You can't practice using a sword in your head and expect to be proficient at it. Now, when it comes to a business, again, that's a whole nother animal. If you want to build a business and something is stopping you or something is getting in your way, then perhaps you need a business plan. A business plan not in your head, but something outside of you. A business plan requires you to answer questions that may be hard, that you may not know the answers to. But if it exists in the real world, someone else can see it. That's what manifesting is. Someone else can see and experience it. Maybe if you're going to buy or sell a product for your business, well, you need to buy your first one. You need to get a prototype. You need to, if it's a service, then you need to have a prototype for that service. That thing that you manifest exists outside of you, and it needs to be real, and other people need to be able to experience it, because you can't get better if you don't have something manifest in the world. You're going to have to do some kind of battle, right? You're going to have to fight for this, and it's going to be hard, and you may take a loss. But you have to battle the minions of fear, whether it's the followers of the dragon or the minor failures or challenges of putting together a business that works. You have to do some kind of battle. Remember, the battle is not the war. And you may have to fight a lot of battles to actually win in the end. Then if you have not fought your first battle, or you are resistant to fighting your first battle, then you can't move forward. If it's just in here, if you are not manifesting something and doing something, no matter how much you learn, no matter how much you ask questions, you have not moved forward. There are risks involved in all of this. There are risks involved in facing your fear. And what a lot of people come to me with is that there's a cost I have to pay, and I may put all this energy into fighting this or dealing with this, and at the end have nothing. I say that's not true. When you face your fear or do battle with it, even a little bit, you become stronger. You become more practiced in how you deal with it when it occurs. You change, you grow. While you may put your energy and resources into, say, building a business, you get better at it. It is training. And yes, there's cost involved that you may never recoup, but what you get is you become a better business person. Little by little, you become better. And that is worth the payment. That is worth the risk. That is worth losing a little money and time so that you can become a person that is more capable of dealing with your fears or with your concerns or whatever it is that's stopping you. Remember this: bravery is not about defeating the enemy. It's not. Bravery is about who you become when you face it. For some people, you can't even look at it. So if you get to a point where you can look at it, you are better at facing bravery. Facing is just looking at it. That is an accomplishment. Look at it, and look at it for a long time and discover it and look into it. Facing it is an accomplishment. When facing it over time becomes easy, not beating it, when facing it over time becomes easy, you can now move forward into the next step of dealing with it, even on a small basis. So, find the smallest accomplishment you can achieve when dealing with whatever this is. So if it's fighting a dragon, making your first sword can be an accomplishment. Following dragon tracks can be an accomplishment. When it comes to your business, creating your first widget or your first video production is an accomplishment. Each time you do something like this, it shows you that you have a chance to deal with it. It strengthens you in your resolve and your ability to move forward. Remember, if you don't move forward, you are not dealing with it. It's okay in the beginning if you have to face it and you have to practice facing it so you don't run or so you don't get scared or so you don't get mad. That is an amazing first step. But what you have to do next is make an inch forward. Not all the way forward where you have to do battle with them directly, but you have to move forward a little. And dealing with your fears or becoming brave is how you deal with these things little by little. A person who makes steps, no matter how small, despite the fear, is brave. So, what are you doing? What little bit are you doing each day, each week, each month to deal with the things that are stopping you? Where in your life can you become more brave? Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Please put comments in the comments below. Give me any kind of suggestions you have. Please also like and subscribe so that I can continue to bring this content. If you'd like to work with me as a life coach or explore that, there's a link in the comments below. Please click the link, set up an appointment. It is free, and we can explore whether or not we can work together. As always, I appreciate your energy and your time and your thoughts. We'll see you next time.